Hey, what's up, everybody? Mike Dokter back again, recording videos for Pound the Stone, book number 2 for year number 2 of house basketball. I'm the high school head basketball coach for the house basketball team playing with the Michigan Basketball Academy. And every year we read a book. This is the second one. If you're coming across this video for the first time, thank you for watching. Hit up the other videos on the playlist. This is actually the sequel to a book called Chop Wood, Carry Water, which is also written by Joshua Medcalf. So if this seems out of place or whatever, go back to the other playlists that I have, watch through those videos, catch up with us. We're on chapter 14 called 1%, or excuse me, chapter 15 called 1%. The last couple chapters we talked about the idea of being imprisoned by your own thoughts and how doing all the little things eventually adds up. And if you really want to get results, stop looking at the results and stop gauging your progress by the results that you actually get. Instead, measure it by doing all the little things persistently and consistently. So this talks a little bit more about how that process works. So chapter 15, 1%. Are you sure? Jason asked, confused. He thought it was pretty obvious how it worked. Well, I know how badly you want to hit your sales goal, and I know you want to see exponential growth this summer, but let me tell you about how growth actually works. It happens 1% at a time, and that's a lot faster than you think. Really? What do you mean? Well, back in 2010, a guy named Dave Balesford was tasked with a serious challenge. He had just taken over England's cycling team, a team that had never won a Tour de France. Dave had a unique strategy, though. Rather than focusing on big goals like winning the Tour de France, he was focused on improving the little things. Everything from the way the team washed their hands all the way to the type of pillow they slept on, by just 1%. He believed that if they could improve everything by just 1%, then through the power of small aggregated gains, they should be able to win the Tour de France in 5 years. Jason leaned forward, hooked. So did he do it? No. Turns out Dave was wrong. They won it in just 3 years. Russ grinned and Jason laughed. We want big, sexy gains, but there is much more power in the small, dirty, and unsexy marginal gains added up and compounded over time. Don't fall for the trap everyone else does. Focus on pounding the stone and finding all those little improvements and trust the process. Something about what Russ said finally started to make sense for Jason, but he still didn't want to believe it. How could you possibly accomplish more by totally forgetting about your goals? That went against everything he'd ever been taught in school, sports, or life. So in spite of the inner voice that told him maybe he should listen to Russ, he chose to tune it out. Russ was just a street sweeper after all. Jason was sure he could reach his goal by focusing harder on it. So it's hard, right? It's hard to think about things that way, but 1% every day compounded over time is a significant increase. And if you look at focusing on the small little things, compounded over time, aggregated over time, you're going to reach your goal a heck of a lot faster than if you just focus on what that end result is. If you're struggling with something right now, try and focus on getting just a little bit better at that thing, at that one thing. Oftentimes we want the big, sexy results immediately. It doesn't work in life. It doesn't necessarily work in sports. I can guarantee you it doesn't work in sports. It doesn't work in health and fitness. It doesn't work in grades. It doesn't work in school. It doesn't work in relationships. Focus on the small incremental gains. Small incremental gains, and celebrate those things. Rest on those things. If you accomplish something a little bit better today than you did before, that's awesome. Tomorrow, just try and be a little bit better than that. Don't try and go for the whole thing all at once. It's going to be considerably harder because you haven't focused on getting incrementally better over time. And that's what this chapter is about. It's about small. Focus on small. Don't focus on huge. Focus on small. Ton of feathers still weighs a ton. All right, chapter 16, You Inc. As the summer wore on, however, things only seemed to get worse. Jason's goal kept getting further away, and with each day his heart posture and effort suffered. He was so confused. He'd always had an easy smile and found it natural to charm people, but none of that was working. Door after door slammed in his face. No matter how wide he smiled or how hard he tried to connect with people, nothing was working. Finally, after a week without a single sale, Jason stopped trying. He slept through his alarm, finally getting up in mid-afternoon. As he poured himself a bowl of cereal in the kitchen, Jan walked in with a stack of mail. She didn't seem surprised to see him. "Good morning, Jason. Are you feeling okay? You're not sick?" He shook his head, crunching cereal. "Then why aren't you out selling books?" He shrugged. "It's pointless. I can't sell any. Nothing works. I've tried everything." "Everything? Are you sure about that?" The gleam in her eyes stopped him from responding. "I guess focusing on your goal really hasn't been working for you, huh?" She tried to hide her chuckle. "Russ told me he didn't think you would really listen to his advice about the process." Jason felt a flash of anger. "It's not like I haven't been trying. You know, Yoda said there is only do or do not. There is no try. Better question, though, is have you consistently given it your very best?" The way she said it made Jason stop and really wonder. "Look, Jason, at one time in my life, I sold products door to door just like you, except I sold phone book advertising to businesses door to door. And what I learned is that sales is more about the little things than the big ones." Jason shook his head in total frustration. "The little things? Everybody keeps talking about the little things. But guess what? I need big things to happen if I'm going to get back on that team." "Well, Jason, as my mom always liked to tell me in moments like these, how's your strategy working out for you?" Jason's anger melted to defeat, and he let out a big sigh. "Not well." Jason looked at him with empathy. "Well, if you'd like, I could share some of the things I found helpful." Jason brightened up a little bit. "Yes, ma'am, I would appreciate that." Jan smiled. "Well, the most important little thing is the one that takes place internally. It's your heart posture. Are you there to give or to get? Are you there to close a sale or give someone the opportunity to learn something that could change their life? Did you know that over 90% of human communication is nonverbal? Things like our clothing, body language, facial expressions, and heart posture are communicating long before our mouths are forming words. And our brains are wired to instantly judge and pick up on unconscious cues. It takes your brain just 1/15th of a second to read a micro expression on someone else's face. So all those nonverbals tell the world a long story before you speak. The best part, though, is that we can always change the story we are telling." Jason was intrigued. "Huh, I never thought about it like that." "Truth is, Jason, the world will only take you as seriously as you take yourself. Until you take yourself seriously, how can you expect anyone else to take you seriously? Be honest with me. Would you buy a book from you right now? Do you trust you? Are you dressed like someone who you can trust? Do you speak like someone you would trust?" Jason fell silent at her questions and rolled around as her questions rolled around in his mind. "Here, maybe this is a better way to sum it up. Would you hire yourself for a $250,000 per year job right now?" Jason looked defeated as the reality sunk in, but Jan went on encouraging him. "Jason, if you saw yourself the way I do, then you would use your time radically different. You would treat people radically different. Until you take yourself seriously, no one else is going to. When you see yourself for who you truly are and who you were created to be, you will understand the immense power you hold." She looked at the young man in front of her with empathy and encouraged him. "Look, Jason, this is something a lot of young people don't figure out until much later in life, so don't be disheartened. I want you to start thinking about yourself as a publicly traded stock. You Inc. Jason Inc. Every choice you make, all those little inches will determine the price of your stock." Jason nodded, trying to wrap his mind around it. "Yeah, that makes sense." With a gleam in her eye, Jan prodded him. "And you know, it might help to actually crack open a few of those books you've been selling. I've read most of them, and they're really good. Might even help you drive that stock price up a little bit." Jason blushed. How did she know he hadn't read any of them? All right, Chapter 16, You Inc. It's an important concept to think about. How do you see yourself? Do you walk around defeated even if you have massive amounts of talent? Do you walk around thinking you can't lead? Do you walk around thinking that you can't contribute? Do you walk around thinking that nobody thinks that you have any or hold any value? If you walk around like that, the energy that you're giving off is going to be perceived sooner than any of your intelligence, any of your charisma, any of your charm, any of your other natural warm-heartedness that you might have. Do you walk around with a smile or a scowl? Do you walk around looking like you don't want to talk to anybody, and if anybody bothers you, it's going to be the worst decision they ever make? Or do you walk around with a warm and inviting spirit, wanting to talk to people and wanting to engage with people? This isn't just a sales thing. It's a relational thing. Everything is relationships and everything is sales. It really is. It's really odd. You're selling yourself every time you come in contact with somebody. You're selling yourself every time that you put effort into something, every time you take a test, every time you do a drill, every time you do anything else. As a coach, I look at how people practice, and I look at their attitudes when they come into practice. Are they showing up early, or are they coming late? Are they engaging with other teammates? Are they trying to make them better? Are they getting frustrated when their team screws up opposed to taking ownership? Are they trying to make their teams better? Are they trying to set their teammates up for success? Are they trying to help somebody who's struggling, or are they just excited that they're able to get through the drill faster than everybody else? True leaders and the best teammates and the people that I want to develop the most are the people who come in willing to learn, and the people who want to have that open heart posture and want to be able to make everybody else better around them. Those are the individuals that really, truly are able to take it to the next level in anything that they do. So I'd encourage you, if you're a little bit discouraged, change your heart posture. Are you there to get something, or are you there to give something? Are you there to give the best to yourself? Are you there to provide value? Are you there to make other people around you better? Are you there to bring light, or are you there to take all the light for yourself? We're raised in this society where we want to get. What's in it for me? 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 The best thing that can be in it for you is giving it away to somebody else. So keep that in mind as we keep going through with whatever you're struggling with, whatever you're working through right now. Change your heart posture. You Inc. It's all about you. But the way that you end up increasing that stock is by looking to add value to other people's lives, by looking to add value to other people's experiences, and by really, truly trying to help them get to that next level on their own. Zig Ziglar once said, and he's an old motivational speaker, most of you guys probably don't even recognize that name, but he once said, you can get anything in life that you want if you get enough people what they want. Focus on getting them what they want first. Focus on making them look like rock stars. Focus on building them up. And focus on the idea of being a servant leader. All right. Hope you enjoyed that chapter. We'll get some more in soon.